can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Thomas Catley. This is a final prediction video for the lightweight fight taking place between the undefeated, impressive Andy Cruz and Hironori Mishiro. Hope I've not butchered that name. Apologies to all our Japanese listeners. Thomas, good to be joined by you as always. A good undercard fight taking place on Saturday as we wait for Richardson Hitchens versus George Kambosos Jr. Andy Cruz, sixth fight of his career. Yeah, it's an interesting one against Mishiro, who's clearly kind of a good fighter in his own right and shouldn't be written off. But saying that, I'll hand things over to you now. What is your final prediction, please?
I think Cruz will win via late stoppage, kind of like an accumulation of punishment type deal. I think that he should he should win handily and give a great boxing performance. A typical Cuban school type display, and it's early in his career, only his sixth fight, so I don't think he isn't a title eliminator, but um, I don't really think his opponent is really, world class or anything. So I do see him winning easily and getting him out of there. I will say late stoppage though, uh, because uh, help me with the pronunciation here again of
Hironori Mishiro.
yes. I do think that he's a tough guy, and like many Japanese fighters, can take a good punch. And I think at the very least, maybe he'll have his moments and make it exciting throughout, or early on at least. But yeah, I definitely see Cruz outclassing him.
Yeah, for sure. I think Mishiro, look, he's not done an awful lot wrong in his career. He had one loss, which was a technical decision loss a couple of years ago, which was the scorecards were close, and he had a draw quite a long time ago. However, judging by kind of the records of the guys he's been fighting in his last three or four fights, he's not been up against top opposition. So I'm going to join you, Thomas. I'm going for an Andy Cruz stoppage here as well. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what the odds are, but that's what I'm heading towards. I also think it's a big stage. Um, it's probably maybe the kind of the arguably the toughest fight of Cruz's career so far. It's maybe the highest profile fight possibly, but yeah, I think he's going to look to impress here. Couple from me, Thomas. How much are you on the Andy Cruz hype train here? Because obviously he's gone straight into kind of real fights in his career. His first fight, there was some sort of IBF title on the line. He's fought guys who have maybe passed their best, but guys who have operated at world level. He's not, yeah, he's turned 30 this year, so he's not a young fighter anymore. How good is this guy? Like, are we talking about someone who's going to be like a pound for pound star in a couple of years? Do you think there's a bit too much hype? Give us your thoughts.
Um, I'm not so ready to join the hype train yet. I mean, he's been looking good, um, but yeah, I think we'll just have to see how well he does against the his contemporaries at lightweight. Um, I'm definitely not really ready to put him above any of those guys like a Shakur Stevenson or a Javante Davis or a Keyshawn Davis. In fact, I don't even know if I'd be willing to put him in that category yet.
Yeah.
I still think there's a lot to be found out about him. Obviously, he's an Olympic gold medalist, so he has like an accelerated route to that. Um, but I still would like to see more fights before he gets to that stage to find out a little bit more about him and how he deals with certain things.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. Look, I think I'm excited just because sometimes when someone's got a lot of talent, they um stump up their records against people who aren't on their level. They kind of get protected, and I feel like with Andy Cruz, it's not been super quick. Like he made his debut 2 years ago now, so he has been around a little while, but it's exciting, and I hope that he can be. Hope that he can be. Hope that I really hope that he can be in some big fights. You've kind of given your opinion on him maybe not being on the same level as Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson just yet, Thomas, but can you? I know I'm putting you in a tough position here, but the next 12, 18 months, do you think we'll see Andy Cruz fighting for a world title? He's ranked highly in the WBC, WBA, and IBF, so I think the opportunity is possibly going to be there. We don't know what's going to happen with Gervonta Davis next. Shakur Stevenson is obviously fighting William Zepeda next. Not necessarily, he won't necessarily be fighting those guys, but can you see him fighting for world title in the next 12 to 18 months, considering he turns 30 later this year as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially since Keyshawn Davis lost his belt this past weekend, I think there's, even more of an opening for him to kind of swoop in and take that belt because, Davis now is probably going to be moving up to 140, assuming that he can't, make 135 anymore. So that would leave that belt open for him to swoop in and grab. And I think that would be the best option for him at this point, just because, get that belt and then fight someone like a Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson
Yeah.
and make those fights even bigger because it would be unification. Um, but I definitely think that I see him becoming a world champion. It's just a matter of whether or not he stands above the champions at that division.
Yeah, yeah, exciting. See what happens. I mean, look, we're missing out maybe the obvious name, Raymond Muratala, who's just become world champion, due to a certain Vasil Lomachenko retiring. That's going to leave me with a final question for you, Thomas. I sometimes feel like I terrorize you on these videos by asking really annoying and tough questions. If Lomachenko hadn't retired, would Andy Cruz have beaten Lomachenko?
Uh, that's a good question. Because I mean, Lomachenko was, I mean, he looked good his last few fights, but he's what, like 37 now? He retired at 37, so it's getting up there in age. I think it would be a tough fight for Loma. I'd probably favor Cruz just based off of Loma's age
Mm,
and just their current form. Loma's looking good, or Loma was looking good, but Cruz is obviously in his prime. So I would probably favor him slightly. But it's a shame because that would have been a good fight for him to have before like a Gervonta Davis or Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis, like so fight someone like Lomachenko, really get that top-notch win on your resume and then fight one of those guys. But yeah, again, I think there's a lot, or at least there's some things to be found out about Cruz and how well he deals with adversity.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm not so sure how I would see him versus Lomachenko, but I guess I would probably favor Cruz slightly.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Thomas, apologies for the annoying questions as always. But we'll see what happens. Andy Cruz back in action this weekend. Thank you for your time and thank you for your prediction. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Likewise, thank you.